We'll design some simple header for a website. So let's say I'm going into the new banner, a new file. The file is header 980 as our project width. Height I'm giving probably about 200 for a while. Color mode RGB, 72 res, white background. That's fine. So I've got a stage with 980 by 200, something similar, more or less heights you're gonna do with your projects as well. Okay. Now here, I will just create a simple I love London or I loved 2012 with a clip mask. It's also a masking technique, and then we'll see how interestingly we can implement the effects. Currently I'm just going to fill the stage with black color. So let me just fill the color. Okay, that's my background. And then I'm going to use the text tool. Using text, you can just use any font you like. It's a clip masking, so I will try and simply select some thick font, so something like copper or copper gothic. That should be okay. So let me take copper gothic with any color I like. Smooth rendering of the text. Font size about, I can try and change later on. And on the stage I'm just typing I loved 2012. You can play with your font sizes. You can do the alignments. A simple text-based project. You can add .co.uk on it extra as well, but not necessarily you need to add your website's domain name extensions to your logos. You can simply keep it I loved 2012 as well. Okay, because that's your branding. Now for this brand, this is a simple plain text, and I'm going to my images folder. Let me take a Union Jack for example, and I'm just gonna change these two window arrangements next to each other by 2 up, so I can see the jack is there. Now let me take this by a move tool, drag and drop onto the text layer. Now I don't need this window. So all I have right now is the Union Jack. I'm going to edit free transform it, so I'll have it slightly thin. Okay, so what we have in your document right now is we got the backgrounds layer, then we got the text layer, and then we got a small image which is overlapped on top of the text. Now you can actually show through the image for the portion of the text contents you have on the text layer. Means rest of the part of the flag will automatically get cut off, and you will only see the flag in the shape of the text you have in your layer under the image. Now that's called masking. So you don't actually crop the flag, but you actually clip it with the text underneath. Okay, that's why in Photoshop they call it a clipping mask. Okay, it's a simple technique to use, or very popular in print graphics and web graphics. So I'm going to show you that. Now as long as you have a text layer, and I have an image layer. There are two ways in which you can apply your clipping to your contents. One is you can right click on the layer, the image layer at the top, and there is an option called create clipping mask. Okay, so if I can select that, and you can see in just one click that flag Union Jack has been clipped inside my text. In visibility, the layers, you can see there is a little arrow which is pointing downwards just before the thumbnail of the image. That shows that image, that layer is actually clipped with the one down layer, which is a text layer, and that's how it is get clipped, and that's the visual it creates for you. But interestingly, it just clips it in terms of the visual. It doesn't crop the image. So image in its full dimensions, it's still there as it is. So if I can go back to my stage, leaving aside my clip layers, using move tool, I can still keep moving the image inside the text. See that? Now that's because the layer is there, which is the image, and I'm actually moving that image inside the text, and you can actually have as much portion of the contents. So let's say I like that. There you go. If you have more, it will look more nicer because you'll have a larger shape to get masked. That's it. I'm gonna go back to see whether the effect will be more visible with a different background color. So if I go back to the background layer, change the foreground color to any other color you like. Will it make a difference? If not, I can go to the text layer and I can use free transform on it, and you can make your text be thick. You can still edit your text while the clipping is on, and you can go to the characters menu in the window and you can play around with the height of your text. Typographically, you can do a lot of changes the way you like to show your contents. I can make it bold, and there you go. So a different interpretation of your flagged contents. Okay. Now once your layer is there, you can actually apply layer styling to it. So for my top layer, where is the image is, and my text layer, let's say text layer we have, you can actually double click on the text layer and it gives you the layer styling options. Now here we can actually apply glows, we can apply bevel effect, so it looks like a bit of 3D. There you go, a bit more style on your contents. If you don't want outer glow, you can apply drop shadow, something like that. I'm going back to my default colors. Looks a bit 3D because you added a layer style which is having the bevel and emboss effect. So something similar you can do using Photoshop in terms of a clip masking. Now in the same layer, if you want to add few more maskings, you can actually go, and here I'm going to add another image. So if I'll go to Gherkin, we can pick actually Gherkin or any image which you think you can mask into it. Let me check the Gherkin. That's the only London representation we have. There you go. Again, I'm going to arrange the windows into up. Let me take the Gherkin. Sorry. New layer. And let me just drop the image. And now I'm closing the layer. So all I have right now is a new layer having the Gherkin picture in it. I will free transform it so we can resize it smaller. Now for this particular gherkin layer, instead of showing that as a simple patched image, we can apply layer masks to it, so we can do some show and hide of the effect. Now for the layer 3, which is actually the London, let's say rename as gherkin, for that layer I'm going to add layer mask, which is the masking techniques we have learned in a previous lesson. Now for this I'm simply going to use brush tool, maybe a round brush with a 0 hardness, and with the black color in the foreground I'll simply give a soft touch, something like that. Yeah. You can work on your masking a bit. Or maybe I can just use a larger brush so we can give a slight effect. Yeah, there you go. Bit large brush. If you want on the image thumbnail, you can select the image thumbnail. You can make the image by changing adjustments to black and white. You can see this is how it goes. And you can apply image adjustments, maybe hue saturation to it. These are all previous learning, so I'm just exploring it more and showing you what you can do with it. You can change a bit of styling of it. There you go, just to match the color schemes. And that's it. So both these techniques, using a bit of adjustments, a bit of masking, and your full screen. Obviously you'll have an outline, but that's how the header will look, and all created using the masking techniques. Okay, so that's a presentation. I hope you can do something like this in terms of creativity. Add masks, selections, clip masks together to create some posters. So let me get this recording